good IQ will help you in your studies, get good marks in studies and all that. But emotional intelligence will help you to lead a healthy and responsible life. Nowadays, the children are having very good IQs. But what is lacking is the EQ. Yeah, they are not critical thinkers. They are very impulsive. At times, their behaviors are very irrational. Why these selfie mishaps are happening, or why this screen addiction is happening, or why the IITian being so intelligent are committing suicide.
Hello everyone, I am Jitendra Singh, banker turned entrepreneur and author of the book PEPEC Mastering the Art of Selling. I welcome you to read my story where I interview authors, speakers, coaches, celebrities, entrepreneurs and more. Today I have with me Miss Meenu Bhargava. She is a postgraduate in psychology with a PG Diploma in guidance and counseling. She is a NCERT Certified Counseling Psychologist with 35 plus years of experience and pan-India presence. She is a life skill coach and trains teachers, parents, students on various modules. She has trained more than 15,000 plus teachers and students in last 10 years and conducted her sessions in more than 700 schools and colleges all over India. During the pandemic, she conducted 120 plus career webinars for students of class 11th and 12th. The best quality which she has always been appreciated is her desire to keep updating herself, her passion, dedication and creativity. She runs her own counseling center in Gurugram with the name Karan Consultants. Her interviews and articles have been published in leading newspapers and educational magazines. Today she will be discussing with us about her life journey. So let us hear from her. Welcome ma'am, the platform is open and now over to you.
Thank you. Good evening, Jitendra.
Thank you, ma'am. And ma'am, first thing I'd like to know from you is how did your past life has affected the person you wanted to be in your life? You would be having certain thoughts, you want to choose this career or that career on that base, and on that basis, and what you are doing, what is the difference?
Yeah. See, first of all, upbringing is very important. How your parents guide you, how they encourage you, and what are the struggles that you have seen in your childhood, or what stories your parents have shared to you. So all that makes a difference, the kind of person you become. My father was always a very encouraging person who never differentiated between girls and boys. We were 4 sisters and 1 brother, but all were brought up in the same way. And my father always believed in simple living and high thinking. So now we all were developed with this simple living and high thinking. And I saw my parents, they were not financially too high, we were middle class, I would say. So all the time we were seeing that, he's struggling, but giving us the best education, best clothing, everything best. So I really wanted to, help him out and be independent so that I could be a good example, and also I could help him and fulfill his dreams as well, and my dream as well. So, that is how I became what I am today. Inspiration behind me was my father.
Great. So, you would be having some career choices in your head that point in time?
Yeah. See, I was basically in graduation, I was studying history and home science, right?
Okay.
And I was studying in Ajmer. Yeah. I am from Ajmer. So, what happened was that in graduation, when I was studying home science, one of my lecturers, she told me, you have a very good knack for child psychology.
Okay.
So why don't you go for this subject, right? So, then her words, had such an impact on me that after graduation, I thought, let me do MA in psychology. Now, without a graduation in psychology, nobody is going to give you an admission in post-graduation. Right? So I went to Jodhpur University, and because my father was in Delhi, and Delhi, you can imagine how tough the scene is. So, my aunt was living in Jodhpur. So I went to her. I tried to see if university is giving admission in post graduation directly. They did allow me. Okay, that was the first step. I was allowed to get admission, study in MS psychology.
So otherwise, your
So
thoughts were to become get into a
I
history
wanted
side.
to become a doctor. I wanted
Okay,
to become a doctor initially. In our time in class ninth, we had to choose the subjects.
right,
So, health wise, I was not doing too well at that time. So, what happened was my teacher said, no, no, you can't cope up with science. We are not going to give you science because you are sick for, quite some time and you will not be able to cope up. So, that was the
right.
reason I couldn't study science. But my aim was to become a doctor first. Then, aims, of course, change from time to time to take part in radio programs and all. So, the second career I thought was on newsreader.
Okay,
Okay.
mass
But then,
communication.
yeah, that time it was not mass communication, nothing like that was there. I'm talking about, maybe 78,
Okay,
right? That time all these courses were not there. Delhi had some courses in YWC and all that, polytechnics and all. But anyways, so graduation, then post graduation, when I was sitting in the college, maybe first 3 or 4 days, it was just so my lecturer was teaching something about psychology, stimulus and response, and I was just, totally confused. I was sitting in the class. So 2 or 3 days he tolerated me. And then he told me, why are you studying this subject? मेरी और तुम इंसल्ट कराओगी तुम ये सब्जेक्ट कर ही नहीं सकती because you don't have a base in this subject. You have not done your graduation in that subject. So, I told him, sir, just give me 2 or 3 months, and I will see whether I can do it or not. So in 2, 3 months, I studied some graduation books and, I had very good friend with me. So she helped me out. And then, I started coping up with the subject. And believe me, without graduation, I was second in the university.
wow,
Finally. So, from there, I got this habit of taking challenges, right? And my lecturer was really surprised. Then after that, I did my diploma, postgraduate diploma in guidance and counseling from NCERT. That time, 35 students were selected for this course. And it was a merit, the course, you used to get this merit scholarship through an entrance exam if you clear it.
right.
So there I was there in the course. I did my PG diploma in guidance and counseling way back in 1985. There also I passed out with distinction. And then I got into the job, Delhi government, as a counselor.
Wonderful. So, like you
Yeah.
have multiple choices during your age when you
Yeah.
were growing, and finally you landed up into psychology.
Yeah.
So, hopefully, you really enjoyed the journey and experiences.
Yes. Very much. Very much.
If I talk about your passion now, so what are the things you are passionate in your life?
See, I'm very passionate about my work, first of all. I'm a freelance trainer and I conduct trainings for students, for teachers, for parents, even for corporate sometime, but basically in schools. So, I'm very passionate in my trainings, giving, trainings to teachers on how to connect with the students and how to manage your classes or about teaching pedagogies and multiple intelligence and all such concepts. And similarly to parents also in this, time where the children are screenagers. So healthy, unhealthy screens and how to raise these digital kids and many more things.
Right. That is really challenging.
Yeah.
Great.
And traveling is another thing I love.
Okay, so you drive?
No, I don't drive. I used to drive, of course, kinetic also, car also, everything. But now, the reason was why I left this driving was because in our society we didn't have place for 3 cars. So my husband, I had car, son had
Right.
car. I said, no, let me drop it because there's no parking space available, and all three had to go forward.
Correct. So, ma'am, if I talk about your work and experiences, how you started your career, what all you did throughout, and what you are doing now.
Yeah. So, as I said, I started my job as a school counselor. That time it was known as Educational Vocational Guidance and Counseling.
Okay.
So, I started working in a school in 1986, 85. I did my diploma. After a year, I got government job, and then I started working with children. So 23 years, I continued working as counselor, guiding students in studies, in careers, in personality development, in their personal problems and all that. Yeah. But government job, you can understand very well that sometimes, especially as a counselor, you are not utilized in the school in the right way because, teachers' vacancies are there. So you're just told, okay, social science teacher is not there, so you take social science or something like that. So,
Right.
and then career choice also, just because children don't have good background of English, so sometimes they are not able to go into those jobs. So, I somehow was feeling this that I can do much more than what I'm doing in government job. So then I got some opportunity to work on some projects where I was sent to, different cities in India, and I had to train teachers and all. Earlier also I was doing in government job because we used to have teacher training for different departments, and I used to go and train teachers. Even we had one program, VUA, that was Youth Unite for, Victory on AIDS. So I was doing these kind of trainings. Then ultimately I felt this is where my passion lies. Let me try myself in trainings. So I thought to start my own center of counseling and training. And then, 2012, I started my own center, counseling and training, Karan Consultant, with the name Karan Consultant. And then from there till now, I'm very happy doing trainings all over India.
Great. So journey have been wonderful so far. So if I talk
Yeah.
about your vision, mission, and goal for next 5 to 10 years from now, so what that should
Yeah.
be?
See, I'm already 60 plus, but I don't, think that I'm 60 plus. All the time I'm very energetic, very enthusiastic. And, everybody wonders, how do you travel so much and you don't get tired? But I always tell them because I enjoy my work. So, my vision always has been that I should help people. If I have knowledge, I should be sharing that knowledge. Let others also grow with my sharing of knowledge. So my aim is learning myself first, upgrading myself, and then sharing that knowledge to others and let them grow. So learning, sharing, and growing, right? So this
Right.
is how, and I want to live a very purposeful life. I don't just like to waste my time. I like to utilize my time in the best way possible. I also love to make a balance between the work and my career. So with this kind of job, I'm able to balance my work as well as my life very well.
And you enjoy traveling also.
I enjoy traveling. Yeah.
Great. So that's really wonderful, and I think the objective of life should be that only, that whatever you are doing, you are balancing it out with all the activities. You should not concentrate on one, focus on one. You should balance your life, your health, your upgradation also, because it is kind of a software, hardware we have inside, which needs upgradation also. And you rightly pointed out, at 60, you are still upgrading yourself, learning new things. So that is clearly
Yeah.
an inspiration to everybody that we should not stop learning. We should keep learning.
Yes.
Wonderful, ma'am.
Learning has no age.
Yes, yes.
Learning has no age.
Right. So, the most important life lessons you have learned from your journey, personal and professional, what those things are?
Yeah. So, first lesson that I have learned in my life is that health is most important. And, physical health, mental health, social health, all those health, spiritual health also. So, I feel there's no health without good mental health. And second thing, what I feel is the life lesson is that in schools, mostly the focus is on developing cognitive skills. Whereas I feel that emotional intelligence is more important than just intellectual quotient. So I believe in the balance of EQ and IQ for success in life, with me also and for others also. And also, I believe that most important is to teach children life skills. We have seen in pandemic how the people have suffered. And no money, no status, no job, nothing could resolve this problem of pandemic except your patience, your responsibility to wash your hands, eat good food, not to interact when they were asking you not to, that distance to be maintained and all that, and COVID appropriate behavior, so vaccination and all. So what I felt was that yes, that pandemic taught us many lessons. So lesson number one was acceptance and adaptability. In life, there will be situations where you will not be able to change your circumstances, but there you need to change your mindset, right? And you need to accept that situation and be positive that time will change. No time stays, nothing, like even the bura samay bhi aur acha samay bhi rehta nahi hai, nothing is permanent. So time will change. This is another thing that I feel students should be taught. Not only student, I would say everybody needs to have this life skills in them. How to lead a life in a healthy way, responsible way, and socially appropriate ways. That is the thing. And then also don't compare yourself to others. This is another very important lesson. Always love yourself. I call it fly. So first love yourself. Only if you love yourself, then you can love others. So that is another lesson that I always feel the parents, while upbringing their children, should have. And then support of family is another thing which I feel is very important. Nowadays, what I feel is that, very casual relationships are there. Nobody's committed to the relationships. But I feel the commitment and boundaries and everything is very important in relationships. So healthy relationships, that is another thing I feel one should focus on.
Right. And you wonderfully shared those learning with all of us. I must say these are pretty simple but very powerful when it comes to using your life in a purposeful way. Whatever you do have some meaning, but that meaning would only be in existence when you have all of these things in place. Like the concept of fly, I really liked very much. First, love yourself. And I also started working on that idea that there should be something onto it, like any book or something like that could be written on it. So if you don't want to write any book on that concept, definitely I would love to. So that is really wonderful inspiration for me. And thanks to you, ma'am, for that. And you just...
You can write.
Sure, I'll do that. And you just spoke about EQ and IQ. So, we always talk about EQ and IQ. Sometimes we say that EQ is better, IQ is better. We always be in confusion. So what exactly EQ, IQ is, and how to why it is important for us to understand this concept of EQ and IQ?
See, emotional quotient is about emotional intelligence. That is about our social competencies and our emotional competencies. If you see, we are always driven by what? By our beliefs, by our feelings. If I'm getting angry on someone, I'm not going to make a positive action to, hug that person, compliment that person or something. And if I'm happy, definitely my action will be positive. Sometimes, like suppose a child has got very good marks, he has topped the board. So when he comes home now, he's even pressing the bell will be full of enthusiasm, very enthusiastic bell pressing. His body language will be accordingly, and he will be enjoying everything. Even when he enters the house now, his steps will also get all that energy. So with positive emotions, we get a lot of positive energies. And similarly with negative emotions, we get negative energies. Like a child is stressed, feeling very low or sad. So what will happen? Everything from his posture to total body language will be different. He's nervous in exam, he will not be able to write. Though he knows potential is there, but he forgets everything. So emotional intelligence is about controlling your emotions. So controlling your feelings, controlling your beliefs, all these things. And it is more to do with life. It is more to do with life skills. Academic intelligence, the IQ is there important. So IQ, good IQ will help you in your studies, get good marks in studies and all that. But emotional intelligence will help you to lead a healthy and responsible life. Also, I can tell you one thing. Nowadays, what is happening? Nowadays, the children are having very good IQs. But what is lacking is the EQ. Yeah, they are not critical thinkers. They are very impulsive. At times, their behaviors are very irrational. Why these selfie mishaps are happening, or why this screen addiction is happening, or why the IITN, being so intelligent, are committing suicide, or why the children are being so disrespectful on the social media, or why so many bullying cases are happening, why rape and all this. Because what I feel is they have been taught to get good marks. Our education system is very result focused, but where they lack is they don't think before making an action. So the discipline has to be brought in on their thought processes, on their speech, on their actions. So this is what I feel is very important, to analyze the things, to stop, think, and then choose. Why are you doing what? Now see, students don't think before committing suicide. They never think of the family, what will happen to them. The mother may get into depression, or before taking drugs and then driving the car, the child doesn't think that that may be a very fatal thing for me, or it could be a life threatening situation where I could get paralyzed for whole of my life. So before making an action, one needs to think, and emotional intelligence is all about, before taking actions, bring that control in yourself. So self-control, that is what I feel.
Wonderfully narrated everything in a small way. IQ we always can enhance through learning and all, but EQ is a thing which is the outcome of your overall personality, behavior, how you think, how you feel, and how you behave in certain environment. So it is really important for all of us to understand that whatever we are doing is not impacting us, it is impacting everybody around us. So it is very important that we should be rational about our behavior and also understand the implication, which is really important. You rightly pointed out we should understand the implication of whatever we do in society. So because it creates an impact, and that could be positive or negative. If we create a positive impact, definitely it would be betterment for everybody. That will impact everybody's life in a positive way.
See, now in pandemic also, what was happening? All the time we were watching negative news. Now, watching negative news, the cases are not going to decrease. But what is going to happen is that people, especially small children, they were creating those horror movies in their mind. And that was impacting. So what was happening? The fear is getting created. Then there was a lot of frustration, anxiety, stress, all these negative emotions. Yeah. So, a person, now school, what will happen is school will teach you Shatkon, Trikon, Samkon, but nobody teaches you Drishtikon, which I feel is the most important in life. Why children commit suicide or, undergo depression, anxiety, stress? Because they don't count your blessings. They don't have that attitude of gratitude. So these are the, emotional intelligence things where, we need to work with our students, with everyone. Positive thinking is not something which comes in a day. Positive thinking is something which has to be practiced every day. Yeah. So, like I myself do a lot on all these things, like counting your blessings. Every day I count my blessings, how I'm blessed, right? And I teach my students, my teachers also, to count their blessings. Then, having the attitude of gratitude, of resilience, and all these things, I myself practice all this. I always believe that, we should take our failures very gracefully. Why? Because I feel every one of us fails in something or the other. Maybe I'm not a good driver, or maybe I'm not a pilot, or I can't draw. So I'm also failing there. failures always give you a chance to go deep into yourself, right? So failures somehow evolve you. So this is one very important thing that students and everybody should learn, to always be positive and hopeful as well. See, God has given us eyes in front and legs also in front. So when we walk, it is we are walking in front, not looking at back and walking there. So
Right.
this hope is very necessary. Sometimes I really like this. God has designed the body so well. 2 ears and one mouth. So listen more and talk less. Everything is well designed. So yes, and one another thing that everybody should remember is that no one is perfect. No one. Everybody is born with imperfections, right? Like कंठ दिया कोयल को तो रूप छीन दिया, रूप दिया मोर को तो इच्छा छीन दी, इच्छा दी इंसान को तो संतोष छीन दिया, और संतोष दिया संतों को तो उनसे संसार छीन दिया, और संसार दिया देवी देवताओं को चलाने तो उनसे मोक्ष छीन दिया. सो किसी को भी सब कुछ तो दिया ही नहीं गया है दुनिया में. एवरीबडी इज इम्परफेक्ट. बट व्हाट हैपेंस इज that we always try to live with complaints. ये नहीं है, वो नहीं है, जबकि सबके पास सब कुछ नहीं है ना. किसी के पास लाइफ में what I have experienced is some people have money but they don't have family. Some people have family but they don't have good health. Some people have good health but they don't have money. So that imperfection is there everywhere. And what is required in life is just the positive mindset to see what you have and be happy for what you have. तो एक बड़ा अच्छा मैं पढ़ रही थी, अर्थर एश थे. ही वॉज अ विंबलडन टेनिस प्लेयर एंड ही डाइड ऑफ एड्स. तो उनके फैंस ने कहा, व्हाई गॉड हैड टू गिव यू सच अ फेटल डिजीज? And his reply was that, like more than 500 crores maybe starting to play tennis. And then, how many? Maybe 50,000 come to play that, they become professional this table tennis players. And then last May, 2 are left. And then I was the one, he said, who was holding the cup. I never asked God, why me? So now when God got into some trouble, why should I ask God, why me? So he said the problem is that when God gives you 10,000 reasons to smile, you don't see those reasons to smile. You see only those which are given, like 100 reasons to cry. So to lead a happy life, you need to have this count your blessing thing. If you have good health, you are blessed. If you have family, you are blessed. If you have good values, you are blessed. And many more blessings, like true friends, you are blessed. You are educated, you are blessed. So, we can count our blessing early in the morning instead of starting our day with the complaints. शिकायतें नहीं, शुक्रिया कीजिए. जो आपको मिला है, बहुत सारे लोग ऐसे हैं जिनको इतना भी नहीं मिला. So that is how we should lead a life.
That's true, and that's really wonderfully explained by you. वो जो आपने बात कही ना, सबको सब कुछ नहीं मिलता, बहुत ही मीनिंगफुल और पावरफुल लाइन है. I really want to hear that line again and again, and I will definitely keep a clipping of that, and I will keep repeating that line. That is really powerful and meaningful line. So that's really amazing, ma'am. You have shared so many things, wonderful. So if I talk about success, like if we want to be a successful in any endeavor, whatever we do, so we have talked about EQ and IQ. What do you think is more important, and how we can use those things in our success?
Yeah. So first of all, success is a very relative term. Yeah. Because see, I can be a successful mother, I can be a successful daughter, I can be a successful professional. So success, if I talk of, is a relative term, but one thing is very sure in my mind, and that is that just having degrees will not make you successful. Along with the degrees, you need to be a good problem solver, you need to be having good creative thinking, and having a good, I would say, positive thinking. So all these things are very important for success. Not just the degrees can get you success. Your hard work, your dedication, your sincerity, your commitment, all these things are more important than just the degrees. So, we always say that ordinary and extraordinary, just the extra word is different. So, the people who have been extraordinary, who have been successful, have got that success because of their, extra on time management skills. They were extra on positive thinking. They were extra on their efforts. They were extra dedicated, extra sincere, extra committed. That made them successful.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's really true. Without anything missing, we cannot be a successful. So that is really
Yeah.
important. Like academics is one part to it, and a very basic one, because we need basic understanding of anything, whatever we do, any subject. So that is
Yeah.
required. But the most important thing is how to implement those things. EQ comes there in place. It helps us
Yes.
to understand where we can implement these things.
Yes. Self awareness is very necessary.
Right.
To be successful, you have to know what are your goals, what are your dreams, how you're going to achieve those goals, and what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses. All these things are important.
Correct. And that comes through EQ.
Yes.
Right. And this is really important, and you rightly pointed out, without both, we cannot get into anything and we cannot move ahead. So, it is really important for us to keep on learning new skills so that we can improve on our IQ level. And also, we
Yes.
should also learn about how we can make our life more fulfilling, learn about how we can challenge us emotionally without getting hurt. Also, that is equally important, because sometimes what happens is when we try to put more effort, we try to get stress, anxiety, tension also. But we
Mhm.
should be using all resources in such a way that we should not get those kind of negative things to us. That will
But
help us.
that's a regular practice, regular practice.
Correct.
So, like yoga, meditation, prayers, all these things, I think, and most important is creative outlets, reading some good books and watching some good inspirational videos, and many more things a person can do, interacting with people, connecting with people, or listening to music and all these things. And of course, engagement, physical engagement as well as mental engagement, to keep yourself busy with different things, not just be obsessed with one thing. And then living in the present, this is another very important thing, because whatever has gone in past, you can't keep regretting and crying for what has not happened in the past. You can't change past at all. Similarly, you don't know about your future, but present is a present. That means gift. Present is a gift. So, if you are happy today, the chances are your future will be bright. And if you are having all the negative thoughts today, then you are going to spoil your future as well. So, health, according to me, is the most important thing.
That's really true. Because if you are healthy, you can concentrate on anything, you can build anything in life. So that is
Yes.
really wonderful.
Yeah.
So, ma'am, coming back to you again, I know this question is not relevant here, but still I'm asking, are you an introvert or an extrovert kind of a person when you meet large audiences or people? And what do you think plus or
Yeah.
minus of the same is?
See, I'm a totally extrovert person. I love meeting people. Even when I travel, I love traveling because I meet so many people from different backgrounds and different communities and all. So I'm a total extrovert and I meet so many people and I get a lot of energy by interacting with people. So that is what I can say, that yes. And I don't find any, negative thing in being this extrovert. That is, I enjoy being an extrovert. In fact, I can't live without people. Even to my family, I'm very well connected with everyone. My relationships also, my workplace also. So, and this thing, networking and connectivity, this helps you a lot in 21st century. Good teamwork is very essential here.
Correct. And it's really important to have a social network around us, because that is the inspiration for us to be alive and also enjoy our life. That can only can happen when we have people around us. So that is
Yes.
really wonderful. So, ma'am, if I talk about your journey so far, what kind of support you got and who all supported you the most?
My family has been always very supportive. Whether you talk of my parents or my siblings or my husband or my son or my daughter in law or my granddaughter, everybody is so supportive to me, and that's the biggest blessing I enjoy. I could travel so much, I could do so much of work because I had a backup support with me. So that is very essential. But that is not just one person, can do it. It is the how you behave with others, how you respond to others' needs and all, that makes a difference. So
Correct.
everybody has to be, on the same
Correct.
chapter.
And if you want to get support from others, you have to be supportive yourself also towards others.
Of course.
We sometimes
You
miss
have to
out on that.
understand people.
Correct. We sometimes
You have
miss
to
out on that.
understand people. You have to accept them. You have to have tolerance and patience with them. You have to have empathy. So, only when you are good at all these things, as I said, when you love yourself, then you can love others. So,
Correct.
I love myself a lot, and that is how I can love others a lot. And I understand people quite well, and I try my best to make good relationships with everyone.
Correct. The kind of support you extend towards others, that is kind of a
Yeah,
reciprocation you receive from others. So that is really
yeah,
important. And sometimes what happens is we miss out on that and we expect others to support us first. So that is the
yeah,
challenge lies in life of some people.
yeah.
So this is
Actually,
important.
why? Yeah, why the problems come up? Because we are all the time trying to control things. We try to control people, we try to control situations, and when they don't, work on our conditions, or they are not the types we want the situation to be or the person to be, then we start getting frustrated and, anxious or stressed. But in life, all the time you will not get what you want.
Right.
Sometimes life has a different plan for you. So you have to then go and adjust to the life the way life wants you to.
Correct. Wonderful. So, ma'am, what is your inspiration and motivation in life? How you get that?
My inspiration, see, when I was in college, frankly speaking, I was very much inspired by Kiran Bedi. Because, like I was staying in Connaught Place, and that time I remember very well, she was known as Crane Bedi. When I used to go to the bus stop, everybody used to be very scared of her, stand in line and all that. Then, when I came for doing my post graduation in NCERT, that time also, we were told about the hard jail and the work she's doing. So all the time I was getting very inspired by her. Then later on, I started watching, YouTube videos of Ujjwal Patni and Vivek Bindra and Sandeep Maheshwari and all these people. So whatever I do, whether I read good books or I read good videos or I, interact with people, but I think everybody can inspire me. A small child to a adult to an old person. I try to learn and get inspired from everyone.
Great. This is simply a wonderful thing. We can get our inspiration, motivation from anywhere in life. So we always miss out on many things we see daily where we can learn from.
Yes.
So great. Ma'am, we are moving on to the next one. You have already mentioned this during the previous questions, but still want to understand your perspective about success. How does it look like to you? What you have feeling for success?
Yeah, see, my feeling for success is that you get yourself engaged in hard work and, attaining good knowledge and having a good goal. And having just goal is not important, but taking actions on that goal with full confidence, with good knowledge, and then managing your time and everything accordingly. So that gives, and then being positive, about your things, that with patience, with perseverance, you are going to achieve your goal. So that makes you successful, in my views.
That's really true.
Yeah. So there is nothing like that, सब लोग धीरू भाई अंबानी अपने आप बन गए या अमिताभ बच्चन अपने आप बन गए. According to me, they have all worked very hard. and they have done good practice of their skills. Whatever they were good at, they have practiced it, and that is how they have become successful people. And that is how everybody achieves success, with that dedication and commitment and hard work. All that.
Right, great. So, ma'am, we are moving on to the last one. Any message, advice you would like to share with our viewers and listeners?
Yeah, viewers, I would like to tell you that, first of all, love yourself. That is more very important. Nowadays, what happens? Children see some ads or, somebody in social media, and they feel they are not good at it. So, can I say a story about it?
Yeah,
Don't
sure, ma'am.
compare yourself to others. So, once there was a crow, and that crow was very happy in the jungle. Then he meets a swan. That swan is so white, he starts thinking why God has not made me a swan, like, beauty he has not given me. So he gets a little sad. Then he thought, let me go to Swan and ask him how happy he is. So he goes to Swan and he thinks he must be very happy. But then Swan tells him that I was also very happy, but then I met a parrot and I realized that I've got just one color and God has given him two colors. So I became sad. Then Crow goes to Parrot and talks to him that you must be very happy. He says, I was. But then I saw the peacock, and peacock is so beautiful a bird, such a colorful bird, and people take selfie with it, take photograph with it, and they go to watch, his dancing and all that. So I became sad. Now the crow thinks that, peacock must be the happiest animal because everybody is saying that he has got so many, multicolors and all that. So he tries to find him, is not able to get him anywhere. Then he goes to zoo ultimately and he finds the peacock. So as like people are standing taking selfies and all, when everybody has gone, he goes to the peacock and the crow tells him, you must be very happy, such a beautiful bird you are, and everybody is taking photograph and all that. So he says, sit here. And then he tells Crow, you know what? I'm caged bird. You are a free bird. You have never realized what freedom is to a person. You're free to move around. You are free to eat what you like. You can do so much. But I'm encaged. Nobody cages you because you are dark. So whatever God has given to everyone, बहुत सोच समझ के दिया है. और हम लोग क्या करते हैं, जो हमें मिला है उसको हम वैल्यू नहीं करते, और जो हमें नहीं मिला है उसके पीछे हम दौड़ते रहते हैं. तो हैप्पीनेस इज समथिंग अ मेंटल स्टेट. कंटेंटमेंट इज समथिंग, कहते हैं संतोष सबसे बड़ा धन है, निरोगी काया सबसे बड़ा धन है. सो दीज टू थिंग्स, contentment, counting your blessings, and good health, these are very, very important. We should not compare ourselves to others and get frustrated. Like मैं बता रही थी ना, कई लोग सोचते हैं मेरी ऐसी फिगर नहीं है, तो वो फिगर बनाने में लग जाते हैं, डाइट और सब पे कॉन्सेंट्रेट करने लगते हैं. कुछ लोग सोचते हैं मेरे पास धन नहीं है, तो धन के पीछे गलत रास्ता भी चुन लेते हैं. So these are little things. आपको अपने आप में इतना कॉन्फिडेंस होना चाहिए कि जो आपको मिला है वो आपको बहुत सोच समझ कर और बहुत अच्छा मिला है. यदि हमारी आंखें आज कोई कहे कि हमें दे दो, मैं तुम्हें करोड़ रुपए भी दूंगा, तो क्या हम दे देंगे? हम नहीं देंगे, क्योंकि तब उसकी वैल्यू हमें समझ में आ जाएगी. तो जब हमारे पास सब कुछ होता है तो वी टेक इट फॉर ग्रांटेड, ना, और जब वो हमारे पास से चला जाता है तब उसकी वैल्यू हमें समझ आती है. बट हमें ये वैल्यू करना, चीजों को थैंकफुल होना, ग्रेटफुल होना, ये बहुत बड़ा एटीट्यूड है जो हमें बचपन से बच्चों में डेवलप करना चाहिए, जो हमारा एजुकेशन सिस्टम या पेरेंट्स या कोई भी नहीं करते. हाँ, जो पुराना टाइम था ना, जैसे मेरे ग्रैंड पेरेंट्स थे, वो हमें बहुत कुछ ऐसी स्टोरी शेयर करते थे कि पाकिस्तान के पहले हम लोग क्या थे, एक रजाई में सब लोग सोते थे, और जैसे जैसे उन्होंने इवॉल्व हुए एंड ऑल दैट, वो स्टोरीज का इम्पैक्ट आई थिंक कहीं मेरे ऊपर बहुत पड़ा. और आज मैं भी जैसे अपनी ग्रैंड डॉटर को या अपने स्टूडेंट्स को भी जब बताती हूँ चीजें, तो उनको यही सब चीजों के लिए फोकस होने को कहती हूँ कि लाइफ में जो तुम दोगे वो तुम्हें मिलेगा, और जिस चीज पे तुम फोकस करोगे वो ही बड़ा होगा। फियर पे फोकस करोगे तो फियर बड़ा होके मॉन्स्टर बन जाएगा और तुम्हें खा जाएगा। So, you have choices. Either you kill the worry or the worry will kill you. You have choices either to fight the fear or run away from the fear. So, life में बहुत सारी हमें choices मिलती हैं and life is all about the choices we make, the decisions we take and how we respond to the situation, positively or negatively.
Right, very wonderful. And the simple concept you have shared through this story was really amazing. And the thought you have shared are really, really meaningful and important for everybody to follow in their life. और ये सिंपल चीजें हैं येट बहुत पावरफुल भी हैं बिकॉज व्हाट इज हैपनिंग इज वी आर मिसिंग आउट ऑन मेनी ऑफ दीज थिंग्स वो शेयरिंग ऑफ स्टोरीज इज नॉट हैपनिंग इन करंट सोसाइटी करंट एनवायरमेंट सो देयर इज द मिस एक्चुअली जो पहले पेरेंट्स थे ग्रैंड पेरेंट्स थे बच्चों के साथ शेयर करते थे दैट इज नॉट हैपनिंग नाउ दैट इज द वी कैन से ब्रेक इन द two generation which is bringing up the gap much far so we need to bridge in a way कि वो connectivity important है वो बने और most importantly we should understand what all things we can do to help our society around us people around us so that is how we can make everything beautiful and most important is love yourself first and be your own creation first and that too in a positive way and that too in a creative and right environment you should found and you should create for others also like they can also be in the same journey so amazing insights you have shared ma'am I really enjoyed the discussion and I think the time we had today was not sufficient for all these things we should continue discussing more in coming sessions and I would love to invite you again and again for such wonderful discussions thank you so very much ma'am, for your time
thank you Jitendra thank you
Thank you, ma'am. And I will also share your social media so that people can be in touch with you, take your counseling sessions where they're lacking in their areas, maybe related to their career or anything. Mind also is a very important one because what happens is every problem which arises in our current society that starts through the mind. So that is important aspect. So guys, don't forget to check that out too. Thank you so very much for everyone for watching and listening. I hope you all must have gathered a lot of information and enjoyed watching it. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Have a good time. Thank you and bye-bye.
Thank you, Jitendra sir.